The outpost had no name on any official map, just a grid coordinate, a set of numbers that meant nothing until you were standing there, at 8,400 feet, watching the last helicopter disappear over the ridgeline. Then those numbers meant everything. 3 sides were sheer mountain. The 4th side dropped into a valley so deep the bottom stayed dark until almost noon. The locals had a name for that valley. The soldiers never learned to say it right. They just called it the Throat. The outpost had been occupied for 2 years before this unit arrived. Whoever was there before them left in a hurry. Cots still made. MRE trash still bagged. A deck of cards mid-game on a crate. And in the maintenance log, buried under inventory entries and radio checks, 1 line. No name, no rank, no explanation. Do not go past the wire after 0200. Someone had underlined it, twice. The new unit passed it around, laughed about it, and forgot about it. For about a week, the first thing Driscoll noticed was the silence. Not the silence of nothing happening, the silence of something waiting. He was on South Guard, 0145. The valley below was clear, no wind, no movement, the kind of stillness that made your ears work too hard. Then a light appeared on the ridgeline. He almost didn't call it up, almost convinced himself it was nothing, but something about the way it moved made his stomach drop before his brain caught up. It wasn't flickering like a fire. It wasn't sweeping like a flashlight. It moved the way a person moves when they don't want to be seen. Slow, deliberate, one careful step at a time. Then it stopped, like it heard him breathe.
Outpost, say again?
Single light source. Moving west along the ridge, bearing 220. Stationary now.
Copy. Any follow-on movement?
Negative. It just stopped. Right when I keyed up.
Keep eyes on.
He kept eyes on for 53 minutes. He counted. The light never moved. It just stayed there on the ridge, not dimming, not flickering, like it had all the time in the world. When dawn finally came and the gray light spread across the mountain, the ridge was empty. No person, no fire, no scorch mark, nothing in the shale that proved anything had ever stood there. Command called it a reflection off ice. Driscoll nodded and wrote it in his personal log word for word. Then he wrote underneath it, "Ice doesn't stop moving when you pick up a radio." 3 nights later, the light came back. Same ridge, same bearing, same stillness when he looked directly at it. This time he didn't call it up. He just watched it until it was gone. He didn't know why. It just felt like the right thing to do. The listening post was 200 meters outside the wire. 2 soldiers, standard rotation, 2 hours on, then swap. PFC Garrett and Specialist Okafor. Neither of them had reported anything unusual before that night. Neither of them were the type to. The first hour was nothing. Cold. Quiet. A fox barking somewhere down the slope. Then at 0210, something moved through the scrub below their position. Okafor went still first. Garrett heard it half a second later.
You got it?
Yeah,
How many?
just 1.
Moving toward us?
No, parallel. Same pace the whole time.
It stopped when we shifted position?
No,
When the radio squelched?
no.
When I clicked my light on?
Garrett, nothing stops it.
Then what's it doing?
Just walking.
They tracked it by sound for nearly 90 seconds. Same rhythm, same weight, like a man out for an evening stroll. Then it stopped. Not gradually, not slowing down. Just stopped. Mid-step, it sounded like. And the silence that followed was worse than the sound.
Where'd it go?
I don't know.
Did it sit down? Crouch?
I didn't hear it do anything. It's just quiet now.
Is it still there?
Yeah, I think it is.
How do you know?
I don't know how I know. I just know.
They stayed on position until the swap, neither of them speaking much. When the next pair arrived, Garrett pulled them aside and told them what happened. The other soldiers laughed. They stopped laughing about 40 minutes into their rotation. At first light, Garrett went back out to sweep the area. The brush below the LP was disturbed in a clear walking line, pressed flat, stems bent in the same direction, like weight had passed through slowly and deliberately. No footprints, no boot tread, no animal track, no marks in the dirt at all. Just a path through the scrub that ended at a flat rock face, solid stone, no ledge, no gap, with nowhere left to go. Whatever made that path didn't leave through the brush. It didn't go around the rock. It just stopped at a wall of solid mountain, and wasn't there anymore. Sergeant Ware had been in the Army 11 years, 2 deployments before this one. He was not someone who spooked easily, and he was not someone who talked about things he couldn't explain. Which is why, when he finally told this story, 2 years after returning home, people who knew him listened very carefully. It was a perimeter walk, 0230. He had done it so many times he could do it with his eyes closed. Every post, every sandbag stack, every sight line memorized. He stopped at the north berm to check a loose anchor bolt on the wire. Standard. He crouched down, checked the bolt, tightened it by hand, stood back up, and there was a figure standing on the other side of the wire, 15 feet away, in the dark, completely still. Ware said later that the first thing he felt wasn't fear. It was confusion, because his brain refused to accept what his eyes were sending it. The figure was too tall. Not dramatically, not cartoonishly, just enough to be wrong. The proportions were off in a way he couldn't name. The head sat differently on the neck. The arms hung at an angle that didn't match how arms hang.
Don't move. Show me your hands. Now.
Nothing. It didn't raise its hands. It didn't flinch. It didn't step back or run or react in any way to the weapon pointed at its chest. It just stood there and looked at him. And Ware said that was the part he couldn't shake, even years later. The looking. He couldn't see its eyes, too dark, wrong distance. But he knew, the way you know someone's watching you across a room before you turn around, that whatever was standing there was looking directly at him. He hit it with his weapon light. The beam crossed the wire, hit the space where the figure was standing, and lit up nothing but dead ground. Just one moment it was there, and the next it was not, like it had been a seam in the dark, and the light had simply closed it. Ware stood at the wire for a long time before he called it up. Not because he was scared, because he was trying to decide if he believed what had just happened to him. He decided he did. QRF swept the perimeter in under 4 minutes. Nothing. No contacts, no breach, no sign of entry or exit anywhere along the wire. The incident was logged as unknown contact, unresolved. And the next morning, someone found a new line in the maintenance log. Same pen, same handwriting as the original warning. This is the 3rd time. It will not be the last. Do not shine light at it. Do not speak to it. Do not follow it. It already knows you are here. Nobody could figure out who wrote it. The log had been in the command post the entire night. The command post had been manned the entire night. Nobody had seen anyone go near the log. The unit finished their rotation 6 months later. The night before extraction, Ware went back to the north berm alone. He didn't tell anyone. He stood at the wire in the dark at 0230 and looked out at the valley. Nothing came, but he said the feeling was exactly the same as every other night out there. That specific pressure, that weight at the edge of what the light could reach. Patient, unmoving, watching in the way that something watches when it has never once needed to hide. He took one last look at the valley, at the throat, and then walked back inside. He didn't look back. He told me later he was afraid of what he might see looking back at him, and more afraid of what he might feel if there was nothing there at all. The outpost is still there. Different unit now, different soldiers. Same mountain, same valley, same wire, same dark past the edge of the light. And somewhere in that maintenance log, if whoever's there now thought to look, that first line is still there. Do not go past the wire after 0200. Still underlined. Twice.